you hear us, Danny? Can you hear? We can hear you, but no, they can't. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Philip, Sandra, Louisa, Jenny, Janet, and Deborah. Should we start the service maybe? Okay, so let's hold up now. Hold on a bit with us. We have a little technological glitch, but it should be all right soon. Joe cannot hear us.
No.
Good. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, KLS, Shabbat Shalom to all our friends wherever you are, and a particular Shabbat Shalom to Rabbi Danny Rich and Laura and one of our grandchildren who have joined us online, and we'll have the pleasure to hear Rabbi Danny preaching later on Shabbat Shuvah. So we start our service on page 117. May our prayers be acceptable to you, eternal God. In your great kindness, answer us with your saving truth. We thank you, O God, for this new day, for morning sun and evening star, for flowering of tree and flowing of tide, for life-giving rains and cooling breezes, for changing seasons, for the cycle of growth and decay, of life and death. We awake and behold a new day. O God, renew us unto life. Teach us to recognize your presence in creation. Grateful for your gifts, may we dedicate all our powers to your service. On page 118. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for eyes to see. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for gloves to wear. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for the joy of freedom. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for the power to rise. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for providing for all our needs. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for daily renewing our strength. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, for the blessing of sleep and the privilege of waking to a new day. Praise be the one at whose command the world came to be. Baruch she'amar ve'haya ha'olam baruch hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, המהולל בפי עמו, משובר ומפואר בלשון חסידיו ועבדיו, בשברות ובזמירות נגדלך ונמלירך, מלכנו יחיד חיי העולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך מהולל בתשבחות. With the coming of day and night, I will enter the covenant of God, and when evening and morning depart, I will recite God's decrees. God's Most High, you are my righteousness. You teach me goodness. You are the fountain of knowledge, the dwelling place of holiness, and the summit of glory. Eternal might and majesty are yours. I will choose whatever you teach me, gladly accepting your judgments. As soon as I move my hands and feet, I will praise your name. When I go out and when I come in, when I lie down and when I rise up, when I rest on my bed, I will sing your praise, and in the company of my friends, I will praise you with the words of my mouth. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי יסוף ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון מכינות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מה גלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו פרשמותיך. ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך העליון, ולזמר לשמך העליון. Please turn to page 135 for Yishtabach. And I wanted to greet you, all of you who have joined us for the Shabbat morning service, Shabbat Azinu, Shabbat Shuvah. And with me today in the synagogue, we have Rebecca who is playing piano. And we have Craig, who is behind the screen, and he has developed such skills. I mean, he's probably converting to a new job now. He's able to really do this in a professional way. And I can see that many of our friends have joined today. So, Sarah, you have no sound. I hope you have it now. Celia from Grenoble, Shabbat Shalom, Celia, it's great to have you with us today. Jenny Osorio, Shabbat Shalom, Jenny. Tina, sound fading as well. Rabbi Janet, sound has faded. Do you have sound now? Oh. Okay, so the sound is back. Shabbat Shalom, Jason. Shabbat Shalom, Rebecca, you here? Shabbat Shalom, Mary Watson from John and I in Oz. Australia, sorry. I'm not too familiar yet. Shabbat Shalom to Pamela Riegel. That's great to have you with us today. And Michelle Lafitte from Norfolk. Shabbat Shalom to you, Jill and Norman. And Joyce, Shabbat Shalom, Joyce. I hope you're okay. Leo, Shabbat Shalom, Leo. It's great to have you with us today. Martin Onjugol, Shabbat Shalom to you, Martin.
Hillary's here.
Hillary's here as well. Shabbat Shalom, Hillary. I wish you a long life, Hillary. I received your email this morning, and we will say your uncle's name later for doing the Kaddish. Jennifer, Shabbat Shalom to you. Louisa, Meira, Christine, Shabbat Shalom to the sea. Joe Kaplan, and I think Deborah, and I hope I haven't forgotten. And of course, all of you who have no Facebook account, you can see on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. I don't have your name, but I'll carry you all in my heart. So let's turn now to page 135. 135. Ishtabar Shimcha Lad Malkeinu Ahel המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ כי לחני אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו שירו שבחה הלל וזמרה ברכות והודעות מעתה ועד עולם ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בשירי זמרה ברכו את אדוני המבורך Page 136. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, Maker of light and Creator of darkness, Author of peace and Creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it, and in your goodness you renew creation continually day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. The radiant stars bear witness to your glory. We praise you, O God, Creator of light. Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truth of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching. Make us faithful to your commandments and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. We praise you, O God. In love you have called the people Israel to serve you. Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבביך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשורבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Good and beautiful and true, sound, established, and enduring are these words, now and forever. True it is, eternal one, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer, as you were the God of ancestors. You are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם. A new song, the redeemed sung to your name at the shore of the sea. With one accord they gave thanks and proclaimed your sovereignty. Adonai imlo leolam vaed. Tzur Israel, kuma bezrat Israel. Goaleinu Adonai tzevaot shemo. Kedosh Israel, Baruch atah Adonai. Gal Israel, Gal Israel, Israel. And we turn to page 140. 140. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכה חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לי שני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיע ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה המתים. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וכזה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, אלוה כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישביענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי יראת ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושברך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We are on page 142, לדור ודור. לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור, נגיד גודלך, You inspired our ancestors to hallow this day for your service. When upon its coming we pause to contemplate our life, we learn anew that we do not live by bread alone, but also by the spiritual nourishment we receive when we open ourselves to your influence. We thank you for a Sabbath day and for the opportunity it offers to enhance the quality of our lives. We thank you for its joy and for its peace. May our worship help us to take into our hearts its message of holiness and consecrate all our days by devotion to what is true, beautiful, and good. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי שבת וקוראי עונג, המקדשי שביעי, המקדשי שביעי, כולם ישבעו וינתנו מטובך, Our God and God of ancestors, may our rest on this day be pleasing in your sight. Sanctify us by your commandments and make us loyal to your teaching. Satisfy us with your goodness, gladden us with your salvation, and purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, eternal one, let the holiness of your Sabbath enter our hearts, and may all Israel who hallow your name be exalted by its peace. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. רצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל, ותפילתם באהבה תקבל. רצה אדוני אלוהינו, בעמך ישראל, ותפילתם באהבה We give thanks that you, Eternal One, are our God as you were the God of ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your keeping, for the signs of your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due. Shalom, as the loving parent, bless us with the light of your presence. For by the light of your presence, eternal God, you have revealed to us the law of life, the love of kindness and righteousness, blessing and mercy, life and peace. For it is good in your sight that you people Israel and all peoples be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace. And we take now some moment for private prayer and meditation. Shabbat Shalom. So now it is time for our Torah service, and so we turn to page 48. Sorry. First, before the Torah service, we wanted to offer a Mishe Berach for someone from KLS, Janos Gal. Janos is having a second brain surgery on Tuesday, and we wanted to offer him a Mishe Berach for a successful surgery. And I know that Rebecca has also heard from one of her friends. She has a brain tumor as well. And if you have anyone you would like to carry in your prayers today as we are doing the Mishe Berach, either you can put it on the Facebook comments or YouTube comments, or just keep them in your hearts as we're singing together the Mishe Berach. Please turn to page 481 for the Torah service. En kamocha va'elohim Adonai, ve'en kema'asecha, malchutecha malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha bechol dor va'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai imloch leolam va'ed, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadelu l'Adonai iti unechomema Shemo yachdav. Can you play Ashosha Dvarim? Yeah. על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. דברים, שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. So, as I said, this weekly parsha, is it because I'm stepping away from the microphone? Is it better like this? I don't know. So, Parashat Ha'azinu, as I said yesterday, my little Dvar Torah, is the last parasha that is read on a regular Shabbat, because the last parasha, Vezot HaBracha, is actually read on Simchat Torah. So this is the last time we're actually opening the scroll for a regular Shabbat. So in this parasha, we have the last words of Moses. He knows that he's going to die, and the tone is really changing completely from a lawgiver prophet to someone who is actually invoking the universe. Give ear, O heavens, let me speak, let the earth hear the words I utter. So the whole experience of the Jewish people in the wilderness is becoming now almost cosmic. There's something much bigger than just being in the desert and listening to Moses' repetitions of the laws. And as I said yesterday, there's also an echo of the first chapter of the book of Genesis in that both actually encompass the five book of the Torah. And at the start, we talked about the creation of the universe, the world. And now at the end, Moses is actually talking aloud and invoking them. So I'm going to read the 19 first verses, and you will see when the layout is very different. It's quite a difficult Hebrew because it's poetic. Some of the words are not always understandable. I mean, they are, of course, because we have translation, but it's not an easy bit. And also, something I forgot to add, this parasha, this poem, Ha'azinu, introduces some names of God that we are going to use later on. For example, it talks about the tzur, the rock. I don't remember now the rest because I said it yesterday and I don't remember. So this is what the text says. Give ear, O heavens, let me speak. Let the earth hear the words I utter. May my discourse come down as the rain, my speech distill as the dew, like showers on young growth, like droplets on the grass. For the name of the Eternal I proclaim. Give glory to you, our God. The rock, his deeds are perfect. Yea, all his ways are just. A faithful God never falls. True and upright is God. And this is something we find in the funeral liturgy when we bury someone. We say, Hatzur, where is it now? Hatzur tamim poalo ki chol derachav mishpat. That's part of the funeral liturgy when we proclaim God's glory. Children unworthy of God, that crooked, perverse generation, their baseness has played God's faults. Do you thus requite the Eternal, O dull and witless people? Is not he the Father who created you, fashioned you, and made you endure? Remember the days of old, consider the years of ages past. Ask your Father, he will inform you. You elders, they will tell you. When the Most High, and here we have another name for God, when the Most High gave nations their homes and set the divisions of man, he fixed the boundaries of people in relation to Israel's number. For the Eternal's portion is his people, Jacob his own allotment. He found him in a desert region, in an empty, howling waste. He engirded him, watched over him, guarded him as the pupil of his eye, like an eagle who rouses his nestling, gliding down to his young, so did he spread his wings and take him, bear him along his pinions. The Eternal alone did guide him, no alien God at his side. He set him atop the highlands to feast on the yields of the earth. He fed him honey from the crag and oil from the flinty rock, curd of kine and milk of flocks, with the best lambs and rams of Bashan and he-goats, with the very finest wheat and foaming grape blood was your drink. So Yeshurun grew fat and kicked. You grew fat and gross and coarse. He forsook the God who made him and spurned the rock of his support. They incensed God with alien things, vexed him with abominations. They sacrificed to demons no gods, gods they had never known, new ones who came but lately, who stirred not your father's fear. You neglected the rock that begot you, forgot the God who brought you forth. Okay, I'm going to... So, Craig, do you have do you have the text to display on the screen? Okay. So I will say the blessing before the Torah reading for the sake of the whole community and all our friends who are watching us. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים, ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה, אמן. האזינו השמיים ודברה, ותשמע הארץ אמרי פי, יערור כמטר לקחי, תזל כטל אמרתי, כי שעירים עלי דשא, וכרביבים עלי עשב, כי שם אדוני יקרא, אבו גדול אלוהינו, עצור תמים פועלו, כי כל דרכיו משפט, אל אמונה ואין עוול, צדיק וישר הוא. שיחת לו בניו מומם, דור עיקש ופתלתול. על אדוני אל תגמלו זאת, עם נבל ולא חכם, הלא הוא אביך וקנך, הוא אשקך, ויחנונך, זכור ימות עולם. בינו שנות דור ודור, שעל אביך ויגדך, זקנך יאמרו לך, בהנחל עליון גויים. בהפחדו בני אדם, יעצב גבולות עמים, למספר בני ישראל, כי חלק אדוני עמו, יעקב חבל נחלתו. ימצצהו בארץ מדבר, ובתוהו ילל ישימון. יסובב נא יבוננו, יצחנו כשוננו, כנשר יאיר קינו, על גוזלו יחרף. יפרוש כנפיו, ייקחהו, יישאהו על עברתו. אדוני בדד ינחנו, והן עמו אל נכך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה, אמן. Right, so because we cannot be more than one person around the Torah scroll, we have changed a bit the liturgy. Just, I don't want to make it fall on the floor, so I'm not going to do the Agba'ah. And Rebecca, maybe in the meantime, what do we have? On Shoshat Varim again? Okay. שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. שלושה דברים, השלושה, שלושה דברים, העולם, העולם עומד. השלושה דברים, השלושה דברים, השלושה, שלושה דברים, העולם עומד. We turn to page 484, 484. Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our Sovereign Lady, Queen Elizabeth, and all the royal family, for those who govern our country and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force of righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members, and all who enter the synagogue to meet, to study, and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing heart among us, and heal those in anxiety or pain. May we all find here community and friendship, renewal and purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all the congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world. Let those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed, and may we all unite to witness to your truth and do your will. Eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they all live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbors, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision that out of Zion shall go forth Torah and the word of God from Jerusalem. We turn to page 486 now, 486. הודו על ארץ ושמיים, וירם קרן לעמו, תהילה לכל חסידיו, לבני ישראל עם קרובו. הללויה, הללויה. Page 489, 489. כי לקח טוב נתתי לכם, תורתי אל תעזובו, עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכי המאושר, דרכיה דרכי נועם, וכל נתיבותיה השיבנו שלום. So now it's my pleasure and honor to invite Rabbi Danny Rich to give his Divrei Torah, his word of Torah. Shabbat Shalom.
sweeter than the past year. I'm delighted here to greet you and to return to preach at Kingston Synagogue, which, as some of you know, I served so happily for some 2 decades. I was invited to speak on this Shabbat Shuvah ages ago, long before it was known that Westminster Liberal Jewish Community and I would be joining you for Yom Kippur afternoon, before and now, and certainly before my surprise appointment as a 2-day COVID support chaplain to Kingston Hospital. Shabbat Shuvah means, of course, the Sabbath of return. And it is a supreme irony that the United Kingdom and indeed the whole world find themselves in a situation so challenging and unprecedented for a generation at least. We are now operating in a sort of day-to-day survival mode. There's no clarity about what will happen today, tomorrow, or indeed to what it is we might return to. We hear discussions of the new normal. Will the new normal mean empty city centres? Will the new normal see us working from home? Will the new normal lead to our ordinarily shopping online? Will the new normal make masks the daily item of wear? In truth, none of us really knows what normality will become when it returns. The virus will have been defeated, or at least contained. The Hebrew root shuv, from which we get the word shuvah, can be a simple physical return to the place. But clearly in the context of Shabbat Shuvah, it has a deeper sense. It may not be returning to the previous state, but perhaps could be understood as a retuning of a relationship with the divine, or at least a return to a path that becomes a possibility. Shabbat Shuvah is not accidentally placed by the rabbinic tradition in the midst of the Yamim Noraim, the High Holy Days, between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Coming sometimes nearer Rosh Hashanah, but this year as close as it can be to Yom Kippur, Shabbat Shuvah provides a momentary pause, an opportunity to reflect, to make a connection. I've often thought that it would have made sense to have had Yom Kippur first, before Rosh Hashanah, with its serious mode of genuine introspection, and then followed it up with Rosh Hashanah, with the joy of the birthday of the world and the sweetness of apples and honey. Yet the Jewish calendar ordains that first we celebrate the capacity of humanity to sustain the world, build parental relationships, and look forward to a future of sweetness. And then only second, are we brought literally down to earth to face our imperfections and our failures on Yom Kippur itself. Perhaps the creators of Jewish tradition had a psychological insight. That is, only when we are on an up, when the world does not seem so terrible, can we begin to face who we really are with our achievements as well as our failures. You will know there are alternative schools of thought which argue that only when one reaches the real depths can the work of rebuilding begin. But that is, in my view, a theory fraught with danger, because we well know that one can reach a point where nothing seems worthwhile, everything seems pointless, and it becomes nigh on impossible to climb back. I'm reminded of a theory I once heard about the Noah story. I am told, and I'm not an artist, but I'm told that artists destroy more of their own pieces of work than they display. In other words, an artist only shows a piece with which he or she is satisfied, even if it is not perfect. And it will have gone through many manifestations, all of which will have been drawn over or destroyed. The biblical argument is that God is the artistic creator of the world. He created world after world, and on each occasion was dissatisfied with the behavior of humankind. This, after all, is the beginning of the Noah story. in which God has created a world and not only seen Adam and Eve expelled from the Garden of Eden for poor behavior, or for lack of faith, or whatever you choose to call it, but according to Genesis chapter 6, verse 11, God sees a whole generation, according to Noah, which is corrupt and lawless. The divine decision is to destroy it all. And as Noah emerges from the ark, God makes the rainbow covenant, and never again will human society and the natural world be destroyed. Noah's response is his drunkenness and humiliation, which according to the Torah is exacerbated by the depravity of his grandson's generation, known as the Canaanites. Important difference in the Noah story, however, is that God has learnt a lesson too. God understands that the goal may not be perfect, but a good enough, if flawed product, may be the result. What has all this to do with Shabbat Shuvah? Rosh Hashanah, commemorating by tradition the birthday of the world, is the ideal of what life might be, brimming with sweetness, even perfection, that which the divine artist would like to show. Yom Kippur is an acknowledgement that perfection exists only in the mind of a creator, and that an imperfect model may be good enough. The Midrash depicts a God who understands this, a God who is aware of human foible and human failings, a God who offers not harsh judgment, in which we must go to the very depths and lift ourselves up if we've got the possibility, but rather a God who is merciful enough to offer a helping hand, to share in the project of our teshuvah, of our at-one-ment. A Jew genuinely seeking to improve is like the lost man in the parable told by Rabbi Chaim of Tzanz. The parable reads this: a man has been wandering about a forest for several days, unable to find the way out. Finally, he saw in the distance someone approaching. His heart was filled with joy. Now I shall surely find out which is the right way out of this forest, he thought to himself. When they neared each other, he asked, "Friend, can you please tell me the way out of the forest? I've been wandering about here for several days, and I'm unable to find my way out." Said the other to him, "Friend, I do not know the way out either. I too have been wandering here for many days. But this much I can tell you. Do not go the way I have gone, for I know that is not the way. Now come, let us search for the way out together." Rabbi Chaim added, "So it is with us. The one thing that each of us knows, and particularly at Yom Kippur, is that the way we have been going until now is not the way. Now, come let us join hands and look for the way together." This process of teshuvah, of at-one-ment, is, I suggest, the encounter with the presence of God, or at least an attempt to find it. For that presence is waiting for the merest sign, as the Midrash declares. The Holy One says to Israel, "Open for me one gate of repentance by as little as the point of a needle. I will open for you gates wide enough for carriages and coaches to pass through." On this Yom Kippur of all Yom Kippurs, I know you won't be taking to carriages and coaches, because we'll be in our own homes. But I hope that you fast well, and that Yom Kippur is a meaningful experience of teshuvah and atonement for you. And I look forward to joining you in this coming Monday afternoon. Shana Tova M'tuka. May the year be a little sweeter and a little better for us, for our country, and for all of the world. Amen.
Thank you, Rabbi Danny, for these wonderful words full of hope. And Shana Tova to you and to your family. I can see that some of you had some struggles to hear what Rabbi Danny Rich was saying. So we're going to put this sermon on our website if you don't mind, Danny.
I'll forward it later.
Thank you. So we turn to page 213. So, before we say the Kaddish, on this Shabbat we remember Henry Simon, the father of Fleur Standring, and we also mourn the loss of Arnold Cohen, Hilary Cohen's uncle, who passed away yesterday afternoon. And if you have any other name you would like to remember on this Shabbat as the outside of loved one who passed away, please put their names on the comment section or keep them or save them in your hearts. And we say together on page 524. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם לעלמי עלמיה, יתברר וישתבר ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלל שמי לקודשה בריחו, לעילה ולעילה מן כל ביחתה ושירתה, תוש בחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל בני אדם ואמרו אמן. So before we sing together our last song, Ma Yafeh Hayom, just a few announcements. Of course, the big event which comes very close to us now is Yom Kippur. So Kol Nidrei service will start tomorrow at 7 p.m. And the fast, for those who want to really stick to the timing of the fast, it starts in London at 18:33 p.m. and it finishes tomorrow, Monday at 7:32 p.m. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Kol Nidrei here online. And Yom Kippur mornings, 10:30, And on Yom Kippur afternoon, we'll be joined by Rabbi Danny Rich and the Wessex liberal community. So we will finish Yom Kippur together, two communities and two officiating rabbis. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Ma yafe hayom. מי ששיכן את שמו בבית הזה, הוא ישכין ביניכם אהבה ואחווה ושלום ורעות. May the one whose presence dwells in this synagogue and in your homes cause love and harmony, peace and friendship to dwell among us. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Eternal God, grant strength to people. Eternal God, bless your people with peace. And let us say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, and I'll see you in a few minutes on Zoom to welcome our new members today. They will introduce themselves to you, and we'll do the Kiddush together. Shabbat Shalom.